through these fields of destruction. Baptisms of fire, I've witnessed your suffering as the battle raged high. And though it had hurt me so bad, in the fear and alarm, you did not desert me, my brothers in arms.
Make sure you're aware of. We have plenty of emergency exits around the building. Could you just make sure you are standing or near those, that you keep those clear for people, and in case of an emergency, if we were needing to use those, just use any one of those exits, but you could move and gather out fields, the middle field would be great. Look for the marshals in the orange vests to direct you, and they'll make it clear where you need to be. Pretty soon the family's going to arrive, and then when they're ready, I'm going to ask you to stand, and the family will. Let it just be a few minutes later.
Yeah. It's pretty.
The ground, I've got played team games and stuff. Yeah, that's that off a bit slow, but yeah, they'll keep you busy.
Everyone's good.
Yeah. Yeah, but they come in early, Peter. As long as you don't come in late for breakfast.
Good one.
Yeah.
They will always do your man.
Yeah. Still down the bloody works. Over the coal train now. So you know, I've had the coffee down there, the big glass, and we've got a magnet down there on that side of it. And you found a bloody change before. Stay on that.
Yeah.
Oh, you did, right. Yeah, good days, but it's still hard work. Oh, be good.
Want to go to the toilet?
Yeah, good.
So you're going to go right on up the front. You keep playing till we all come in and sit down. And then just come back down. Thanks, good. Right there.
Good afternoon and welcome to Simpson Park as we gather to celebrate the life of Aaron Kenny. This is a day none of us would have wanted to occur, but in the early hours of Tuesday morning, Aaron passed away at his home on Peel Street, surrounded by those he loved. Someone said to me this week, the town is pretty quiet, we're struggling to deal with it. And it's true, we come today to celebrate Aaron's life, but we also come to show our love and support for Eilina, Charlotte and Oscar and all of Aaron's family. And we come to mourn ourselves. 50 is too young. Today we'll hear stories and see pictures that might make us laugh, but also may bring a lump to the throat. Tears to our eyes, and that's all okay today. Those up the front may get a little bit moist, they may be a bit quiet, and maybe it's the pollen from this beautiful display, or maybe just the reality of what we hear. Today we give thanks for Aaron's life and for all that he's meant to so many, but we also mourn for a life ended too soon. In the Bible, Jesus said, "Those who mourn shall be cared for and comforted." May all who gather here today find comfort in their sorrow. My name is Andrew Harricks and I'm the minister of the Lawrence Wairahuna Presbyterian Parish. In my early days in the district, it took me a long time to realise that the Aaron who was married to Eilina, the new entrant teacher, was also Wormy, who was mentioned in so many conversations and activities that went on. Just going to prove that Presbyterian ministers aren't always the sharpest tools in the shed. I'd also never realised what an impressive name Aaron had. Several weeks ago, I was looking through this baptismal register of the Lawrence Wairahuna Presbyterian Church, and it records that on the 8th of December 1974, Aaron Nicholas Robert Gregory Kenny was christened at Lawrence Church. His name was so long they had to write it in small letters to fit it in the space. 6 others were also christened that day, including Rodney David Kenny. And I'm sure there's a story to be told about it, but Aaron definitely trumped you on the memorable name category, Rodney. It may not be a surprise that the name Aaron means strong or mountain of strength. We'll hear stories today of how Aaron, in his own quiet way, has lived up to that in so many ways. Many are here today to farewell Aaron, but we also welcome those who join us on the live stream. The family would like to thank all those who can't be here today, but are joining in this way. The family would also like to acknowledge some of those special people to Aaron who passed on before him. His mum, Bev, family members Chris, Julie and Greg, his grandparents Ian and Joyce Paul, and Glad and Jimmy Kenny, whose bagpipes were played as he entered the service today. Aaron was a beloved husband and dad, a loved and cherished son, brother, uncle, nephew, cousin, in-law and friend, who grew up and spent most of his life here. This town has lost a local boy who was loved and respected. The auctions, the sharing fundraiser, the cars lined up along Peel Street these last weeks testify to how much he and his family mean to his wider family and this community. It's a privilege to be asked by the family to lead this service today. Some things for you to be aware of. At the end of the service, I'll invite the Guard of Honour and Oscar's classmates to form up before I close. And all are encouraged to gather outside for a special moment of farewell before all who wish to join the family leave for Lawrence Cemetery to lay Aaron's body in its final resting place. There could be a few cars, so if you're able to carpool, that would be helpful. You're also welcome to remain here at Simpson Park, where the family will join you for afternoon tea and refreshments when they return. Today we gather to acknowledge a special life and say farewell together. Would you join with me in prayer? God of all compassion, life is precious, each day is a gift. And as we gather today, we bring our sorrow and pain, our laughter and our tears. We pray that you'll give us the courage to bear it as we celebrate the life of Aaron and acknowledge what he's meant to us. Fill our minds with precious memories and our hearts with peace. Whether with tears or laughter, give us the grace to say goodbye, finding hope and strength as we go on this journey together. Amen. Some wonderful tributes have been prepared for the service today, and family friend Melissa Gear will bring the eulogy, followed by Brother Rodney with some stories. Melissa.
Radio, I'm getting blind, I need glasses now. Okay, really want to do a good job of this, so I'm just gonna, glass of bubbly wouldn't have gone astray. Okay, my name is Melissa Gear, and it's a real privilege to read the eulogy for our mate, and I know so many of yours, Aaron, Wormy, Kiwi, Kenny. Aaron's life started in Lawrence Hospital on the 8th of February 1974. As you'll learn from this eulogy, Aaron is a man of many names and many different jobs. Aaron's full name has always been a bit of a point of difference. It's so long, it doesn't fit on his postcards, pill packs, or even his driver's licence. He was named by Bev and Rob, Aaron, Robert, Nicholas, Gregory, Kenny, oh sorry, that's the wrong order, just let me get that right. Aaron, Nicholas, Robert, Gregory, Kenny. But an interesting point, the Nicholas was only a late addition to the name, named after the doctor at the birth. He also has some strong, well-known, renowned nicknames. The first is Wormy. This originated from his time in Australia because of his love of the worm lollies. He's also fondly referred to as Kiwi from his time in Australia. Aaron had an awesome upbringing in Lawrence, filled with good times, and being the middle child of Rodney and Kylie. The home was filled with lots of love and laughter, from play centre to climbing trees, camping, fishing, and going over the Yeehaw Bridge with Gray. Aaron went to Lawrence area school, often to eat his lunch, and hang out with all of his relatives. After leaving school, he went to Telford Polytechnic to study dairy farming. Then he took off on his motorbike to a job in Rakaya on a dairy farm. After this, Lawrence was drawing him home, where he worked with Bill Baisley and the wool and dag and skin business. But this Kiwi did decide to fly. He went over the ditch to Inverell, New South Wales, Australia, where he had the time of his life. He had quite the taste for VBs, and no wonder he was living his best life as he was living at the local pub. How much better could life get? Little did he know, it was about to get a whole bunch better. In 1999, a quick holiday back to New Zealand to see the olds, the universe had different plans. He met the love of his life, Eilena. So returning to Aussie was suddenly not an option. The problem being, he had come over with only a travel-sized bag, and he'd fallen head over heels in love, so he literally left everything in Australia and never went back. As the romance was in full bloom, Eilena was training to be a teacher in Dunedin from 1999 to 2001. Aaron was living the dream again, now living with 5 other girls and boning. Now, get your mind out of the gutter, people. This is serious. He was a meat boner at the freezing works. In 2002, Aaron and Eilena made the move to the big smoke of Invercargill, where Eilena taught and he worked for Solid Energy in Asplin. They made many happy memories. They bought their first house and a very special turtle called Midori. In 2004, Aaron and Eileen got married in Lawrence at Eileen's family home in Lancaster Street. And of course, Lawrence turned on the weather, and it was an absolute sweat fest at 35 degrees. Then the honeymoon to Australia. Well, I'm sure we all know the highlight of this trip, but Eileen decided to crank out her bikini for a sweet Australian tan for her new husband. Eileen got so sunburnt on the very first day of the holiday that this did make the bit of the honeymooning quite tricky. In 2006, it was a move back to Lawrence for the happy couple. I actually have clear memories while attending the local Lawrence Jazzercise class here in Simpson Park all those years ago. Now, before you snigger, it was the thing to do in Lawrence on a weeknight. Well, probably the only thing to do. It was led by Bev Kenny in all her enthusiasm. This night, quite the chat from Brenda and Bev as they were exciting to be telling everyone that their children were coming home. Their excitement was as high as their leotards. And I had no idea who Aaron and Eileen were at this point. Little did I know, we were about to be neighbours and lifelong friends. Aaron and Eileen moved into 35 Peel Street, which they actually bought from Eileen's brother, Rob McDonald. As you're about to find out, this family likes to keep things in the house. Aaron was working for Tavi and Sarah McTavish on the Bobcat, and not long after moving in, Charlotte was born. Charlotte was the apple of Aaron's eye. The very first night in hospital, Charlotte slept on Aaron all night. This was very cute at the time, but little did he know he was creating a rod for his back, because Charlotte became renowned for never going to sleep without anyone laying with her. As the Kenny family was growing, in 2009, they bought Nana Glad's house at 29 Peel Street. Interesting, this was actually a real family home, as it was originally owned by the Windmills, who related to Bev in the late 1800s. Then to be purchased by Jimmy and Glad Kenny. Little did these parties know that Bev and Rob would marry, and then Aaron and Eileen would buy that house. So Oscar and Charlotte, you better start saving your pennies. You need to buy it next. Then a bonny baby boy came into the world. Oscar has always been a chip off the old block. Aaron could not have been prouder. He kept on his toes though, right from the get-go, always wanting to be busy, but the apple never falls far from the tree. The multitudes of jobs did not stop. For a long period of time, Aaron worked for Rex and Rob McDonald on R&R fencing. Then as a winter job one year, he went in the caravan to Cromwell, making cherry frost frames 42 below. This was not his favourite job, as it took him away from his family. Then back to fencing on the cycle trails with Rex and Rob. In 2016, the pinnacle of jobs for Aaron was working on the farm for Phil and Melinda Cummings at Tuapeka Lodge. It was the pinnacle because it incorporated everything he liked from all of those many jobs and the best skills he had. The third child, Nessie, came along on the 7th of October 2021. Aaron studiously studied all of the puppies on numerous morning teas at the farm. Nessie was never far from Aaron's side. He would always call her his best farm dog. She was spoilt rotten. Nessie could do no wrong. As the kids grew up and their interests and hobbies became Aaron's priority number one, followed very closely around work around the house and pottering in his shed. But we best not forget the good use of the beloved label maker, which was right up there. Being outdoors was a big part of Aaron's life. He loved to hunt. So as a doting good father does, he took Oscar out hunting one night on the farm. They saw a massive stag. Oscar was lining it up, he was ready to fire, but apparently taking too long. So Aaron grabbed the gun and shot it himself, but missed. Eventually they did end up getting that deer and running to grab it. Duck shooting was, let's say, an eventful time on the calendar. To be honest, less about shooting ducks, more about drinking. The most eventful duck shooting was when I went to pick them up. At the end of the night, they had ended up at a flat after drinking home-brewed Dickens cider and falling into the duck ponds. Aaron decided he was cold, so he sat himself on the freestanding fire, which burnt his pants to his legs. Aaron then disappeared. So as a good mate does, Brett eventually went to find him, and he was in the shower, which was locked. So Brett had to find some tools and lock the door, opening the door to see a flooded bathroom, the shower curtain ripped off the rail, and Aaron completely joed out on the ground. It was clearly time for me to take them home. Camping trips were also a highlight, from trips that started at Ruatani Wha and then to the Wanaka outlet. It was just great, wholesome Kiwi fun. You can imagine the packing involved in such a trip, and that to Murumi meant packing, unpacking, repacking, until the Tetrix puzzle was just perfect. No word of a lie, Aaron nearly took the kitchen sink. The negative of the outlet camping ground was they had security. We had several noise complaints called on us, which, no word of a lie, was because of the laugh that ringed across the camping ground. As you can imagine, that was very hard to rein in. As time went by, we became more grown up, and caravans became an easy way to camp. Aaron loved gadgets and the convenience and all the mod cons of a caravan. One New Year's Eve, on a trip to Beaumont, staying at Judah Mouse's house at the Mata'o Lodge, Steve Wither was guiding Aaron into the camping spot. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, stop, 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 stop! But the stop was too late, and Aaron smashed into the side of the house, taking out the clothesline and a couple of bricks, leaving a dirty big gash on the side of the caravan, which was never to be fixed. Aaron was an all-round great bloke who was a community and family superstar. He hated formal meetings, but when something needed done, he was your man. Always there for whenever someone needed him. So it's fitting that over the last couple of months, the community and his family have wrapped around him, which I know he took solace in for the future of Elena, Charlotte and Oscar. To the Lawrence community, you guys are amazing. The past week has been another testament to what a support you are. To the family, man, I've really got to know you this week. You are the best support for Elena, Charlotte and Oscar, and they are so amazingly lucky to have you. To our mate Aaron, we'll never forget you. The memories we have are strong, and things like the value of the Samsung phone, the memories of the mirror room, and that bloody door. Rest in peace, man.
Right, you're just going to have to bear with me. Usually, my public speaking is usually a few beers in the pub. And I'm in sort of denial on the glasses thing too, so I've got blowing up quite big, so hopefully I can read it. All right. This name thing seems to keep coming up. I'm Rodney David Kenny, the oldest sibling of Kylie Beverly Jane and Aaron Nicholas Robert Gregory Kenny. Bit of a mouthful. It's always been a family joke between us how Aaron ended up with 4 names, Kylie 2 and me just 1. But before talking about Aaron, yeah, I'd like to just thank the community for all you've done for Aaron and his family over the last 2.5 months. Aaron was just blown away by the working bee, or the amount of people that turned up for the shearing, which was a well organised event by a lot of people. I'll say a lot of people because I don't want to mention names and forget somebody. Especially I will mention Jace and Leash for leading it off, which actually left Aaron absolutely speechless at the end. Right, a couple of stories come to mind about Aaron. As being a big brother, teaching Aaron how to ride a push bike, motorbike, drive a car and socialise. As kids, catching possums before school was where Aaron got love for hunting, which he then passed on and loved doing with Oscar. I took Aaron to his first party, and on the way home he was a bit quiet, so we got home and I said to him, "You're not going to be sick, are you?" And he said, No, I'm alright. Then I said to him, "If you're going to be sick, mate, stick your fingers down your throat, because if you go inside and be sick, I'm going to get in trouble and you're not going to be allowed out again." And then he said, No, I'm alright. At that time, Aaron and I shared a room opposite Mum and Dad, and I said to him quietly while we were in bed, "Are you sure you're not going to be sick, mate?" And he said, No, I'm going to be alright. Then 10 minutes later, so I said, "Are you not being sick?" And he said, No, I'm alright. Then a bit later, another, which sounded a bit lumpy like. So I turned the light on, peeled a layer of blankets off and put it in the wash house. And then after that, he still said, No, I'm alright. The moral of the story, 2 more trips to the wash house and 2 more, no, I'm alright. When we got up the next morning, the sheets were all gone and Mum never said a word. Even on his last words, Pauline asked him if he was in pain. He said, No, I'm alright. The last 4 years, we've been holidaying with our kids and family and have become very close. We'd have so much laughter in that week, and that was one thing that summed you up, little bro. Aaron, you have 2 beautiful children and a very strong wife. When Eileen asked you what you want, you said, "I'm not worried, I know it'll be all good." And just so you know, bro, I'll be here for your family just like you've been there for mine. And I hope we've done you proud, bro, and set you off in true Kenny form. Love you, little bro.
doing well. Aaron is involved in many aspects of community life. Bill basically is going to share some of these, and then Josh is going to share on behalf of the Lions Bike Club. Bill.
Not very good at schoolwork. Good afternoon. Just like to reflect on Aaron Kenny. I've had the privilege of knowing Aaron from a young age, coaching him in rugby, but then as the years went on, coaching and helping train Aaron in boxing, which he was a top level boxer, winning golden gloves more than one occasion, and many other tournaments. The Kenny family were very involved in the Lawrence Boxing Club, with Aaron's mum Bev, secretary for many years, and his dad Rob, ringmaster, putting up and pulling down the ring after our local tournaments. Also brother Rodney, another very good boxer, also winning golden gloves and many other tournaments. Wee story about Aaron, he was a 54 kg weight guy, he got a lot of fights, but he had a bugger to eat and try and not keep his weight down. And one time we were heading to Kakaranga on the aeroplane to the New Zealand champs. Kenny Blass was the trainer, and Sharon was sitting by me, and the air host had come down with the food. And next minute Kenny got up and whipped the food out from in front of him and said, "You can't eat that, you're overweight now." So anyway, that's all right. There was almost a fight on the plane between Sharon and Kenny. That night we got to Kakaranga and a little bugger shot across the road and got into the Kentucky Fried Chicken shop without us knowing. Moral of the story, he had to skip 1 kg off before he could fight. Now skipping a kg off is a lot for a little fella, and you tell you what, he won that fight. Later years, Aaron left school and his first job was on a dairy farm in Canterbury. One day Bev gave us a ring and asked if we would have a job for Aaron for 2 weeks. 5 years later, he's still with us at Evans Flat Wool and Skin, a very conscientious worker. A story, one day we seen Aaron, he got the gifts of the ropes of the job, and we sent him in his first voyage to go to Wikitaga to clean out Mr. Miller, Roger Miller's shed before sharing. Back Aaron came with a big smile, big truckload of wool and dags. He was quite proud of himself. We had a couple of beers that night. He thought he'd made us $1 million. Next morning, I get a call from Mr. Miller. "When are you coming to clean out my shed?" he replied. I replied, "Aaron was there yesterday." "No, he was at the neighbour's." Bugger. Big laugh. Big laugh. Bev gave me a call one day, but concerning about Aaron's. Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. Start again. Aaron always had a good sense of humour and a good manner and good rapport with the farmers. Quote, "Farmer, I got $3 at the sale for that." "Aaron, you're not at the sale now." Big laugh. Story, one day Bev calls me worried about Aaron's lifting heavy bales. We replied, "2-man lift, Bev." She was very happy. Aaron, another big laugh. After a hard day's work at the shed and the abattoirs, Matt McCorry and Max Howden, Aaron and I and whoever arrived would have a few beers, a beer or two. We had a potbelly stove that we would cook lunch on, and snacks when we had a beer. Aaron was the potbelly man and cooked the food and kept it going. One morning Aaron arrives at work and we're I'd actually slept in this morning and Aaron arrived at work and we hear a hell of an explosion. I said, what the hell's going on down there? So next minute we hear Aaron's car roaring down the road. I get down to the shed and here's a wee can of petrol. Aaron arrives back, no eyebrows, half a head to here. He forgot we had a fire the night before he poured the petrol into it. Bev gave me a call one day. She was a bit worried about Aaron's drinking habits. So we kept an eye on how much he was actually drinking. The little bugger was keeping up with Matt and I. That was another big laugh. One day Aaron and I went to Skinner's to clean out the shed. Mike Damon, blue-heeled dog, bit us on the leg. Aaron, with a quick reaction, hit the dog over the head with the aluminium shovel. Then we shoved the dog in the press box so it wouldn't get us again. That night, talking about the day over a beer or two, Aaron said, did you let that bloody dog out of the press? I replied, no, you did. And it was a big laugh. Aaron, you were a hard worker, very conscientious, very honest, a wee man with a huge heart. And we love you, boy. You're our soulmate. Rest in peace, brother.
Good afternoon. Now, just a few words on behalf of the Lawrence Bike Club. Tell you a few stories and things about Wormy. We have a motocross track up at the Gymkhana grounds. He would bring Oscar along for a ride all the time. Great to see those young riders working on their skills and getting better. Wormy would always help us when we needed working bees. He was always there. Our annual trail ride, Wormy always there, helping marshalling, helping Oscar with his bike. It was great to have him up at our place at the trail ride this year on the 17th of February. We had a great turnout. He was there the whole time, enjoying the atmosphere, helping others and seeing Oscar and all the young club members having a great weekend. Wormy always helped with the Gymkhana Ride Day with our local riders at the end of January every year. Looking out for kids, making sure they were okay on the trails and giving them encouragement. Wormy also was also involved with us building and developing a new mountain bike park. He could always see the value in community projects like these. We are in the process of finishing a trail that will be named at Wormy's Way in honour of him. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Kenny and McDonald family. We'll miss you, mate, and your great help, your friendship and your amazing laugh. Just another thing, we were skiing this year with the school, and me and Wormy were down the bottom of the hill watching the kids come down, and he was just laughing his head off. It was so funny, and even the pair of us laughing together, it gets pretty rowdy. And he probably just about made an avalanche. It was that morning.
Aaron was part of a special wider family, as we've heard, and Grey Kenny is going to come and share with us now.
not a very good start. I wrote some stuff down, but then I'd never brought my glasses. I'm always been off the cuff. As well as I only had 4.5 minutes, and I've probably spent 3 getting up here. But those that don't know me, my name's Graham Kenny. I'm Aaron's uncle, and tell you a few stories. It'll have to be quick because we've only got a couple of minutes left. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge our brother John, whose wife's a bit poorly and he couldn't come over. Apologies. Herbie, the piper, those pipes are pretty magic. They were my dad's and Aaron's granddad's, and they done a few funerals as well as they done Eileen's and Aaron's wedding. And every time I ring him and need him for the Kennys, he just comes. So, when Aaron and Rodney were really young, I used to go out there quite a bit, and I'd take the boys fishing and lobstering and give them a wee few driving lessons or hand braking lessons. And this one fishing time, we were up at Phoenix, I think, or Otago Dam, and Aaron caught this really good fish, and he was over the moon, and he was bloody excited, really. And Rodney and I couldn't catch anything that day, and we tried and stayed a bit longer to catch something, so I was having a beer, so Aaron says, "Can we have a beer too, Gray?" And I went, "Oh, just wee sips then," because you don't think so. While I was doing a bit of minnow, and they were having big sips. And when I got back, Aaron started to have a glow on, and I went, "Oh no, I'm going to be in trouble here." So home we go, and I said to Aaron, "Whatever you do, don't tell your mum, because you won't be allowed to come again." So anyway, Aaron goes in with his fish, proud as punch, and he's got this smile on, as well as a glow, and Deb says, "You've been drinking." Now he says, "No, I haven't, no. Let me smell your breath." And he went, "No," and he come roaring out. It was the same time I was coming in, and he said, "I didn't tell her anything, Gray, she guessed." And my ears, Beard used to twist hell out of my ears. The Yeehaw Bridge has been mentioned, but that was a great time. At that time I had an old HQ Holden, and we used to, the Homer's old woolshed down there, you come over that bridge, a bit like Dukes of Hazzard, and you hit it with a wee bit of space on, and you could yeehaw and land down the road a bit. So Rodney had a turn, and then Aaron says, "I want a turn." So he was a wee bit younger, and health and safety, I put the seat back a bit so he could sit in front of me. And so I had to hold of the wheel if things went wrong. And down we come, and Aaron saying, "How fast are we doing, Gray?" And I went, "Oh, about 80. He went, 80. And then I started putting me foot on the floor, and we got no brakes, Aaron, we got no brakes. And he said, you take over. I said, "No, you'll be right. And anyway, cut a long story short, we went over the Yeehaw Bridge and that. But Aaron couldn't wait, he got rushing inside, and says, "Gee, we come over the Yeehaw Bridge, we'd run out of brakes. Graham wouldn't steer, I had to steer. We nearly ripped the bum out of the petrol tank." By this time, Beaver was behind me again, and yeah. Yeah, I'll tell a story about the room, shall I? Before I do that, I'd like to, Rob, I know, was really proud when Aaron and Eileen purchased their family house, and John and I too, and it was great. see another generation come through. But when Aaron come back, he looked really good, and he ended up in my room, which I think was Rob's room first, and he ended up in my room, so everybody gets a chance to go and have a talk to him. So I went in there and trying to make, good conversation. So I said, when you try and sneak out that window, watch that big rose bush, because it's got big bloody thorns, and I've been caught up in it a few times. And when everybody goes to sleep and you get a bit bored, there's probably a book under the bed there, or you can have a look at. Actually, I think it was there from when Rob was there. So it was an atlas, I think, Rob, wasn't it? Yeah, because we never used to get lost, so I reckon it was an atlas. That's the easy bit, Aaron. The hard bit, yeah, with Bev and Coo going, and it's been 5 years now since Coo passed, and that was pretty, it's pretty hard, but I just sort of say it does get easier with time. But there's not much help now, but it will get easier. When James and I had to go to work, and Ridge spent a hell of a lot of time with Aaron and Eilena, and Oscar and Charlotte used to bring him home from school, and we'd call him and pick him up, and he was just like one of their families over there. And James said, "I'll always be ever grateful for that." And it just, Aaron was a real good bugger, mate. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Gray, Health and Safety Officer. It's special that the family have prepared some words for today, and they're going to come and share those with us.
Our dad was a special man to us. He was a loving and caring dad that no matter how sore or tired he was, he still wanted to take us kids out and about. He always was open for our hugs when we were sad, and he wanted us to know that he was going to be alright. Even from his last words, he told us that he was always going to be alright. Dad loved coming to our sports games, and even came with me to Rotorua for my kia ora. Dad didn't know what kia ora was, but he still loved coming and supporting me. He was a fighter, our dad, and no matter what, he was always had to win the argument. Dad and Oscar had a special bond. Whatever they did, Dad always was watching him to make sure he wasn't breaking things. His dad's sentence always ended with, "For fuck's sakes, Oscar." He loved things being in place, and a couple of days ago Oscar told him that he'd cleaned his garage, and Dad's response was, "Did you move anything?" He accomplished a lot of things off his list before he passed, which was getting Mum a new car, getting Oscar a new motorbike with every size of everything until he grew out of the bike, and taking me to the Milton dump to find this random part for my car. Another thing Dad did was label every single key that we had in the house, which was a very lot. And to this very last day, he was determined to sit in Granda's paddock and watch the cousins cut down the trees. He always told us that he loved us and that he was very proud of what we have done so far. We know that he will always be right with us and look after us no matter what we do. He will always be there looking over on us. Our Dad is in peace now and he's not suffering anymore. May your laughter echo in our memories, Dad. We love you. Okay, I've got a wee letter here for Aaron. Dear Aaron, as I sit down to write to you, my heart aches, but also overflows with happiness for being the luckiest woman to have had you as my husband. There are so many things that I love about you, so here are a few of my favourites. I loved the feeling of safety and comfort that you gave to me and the kids. I loved your organisational skills and the way you seemed to be able to fix anything. I loved watching breakfast TV with you in the mornings, with both Edie and Nessie lying on top of you. I loved your insanely loud laugh, big smile, and massages. I loved the way we would say, "Night, night, love you," before we went to sleep. But most of all, I loved the way you loved us. So I promise to be both mother and father to our beautiful children, but I'm probably going to need a little bit of help from above every now and then. I love you forever and ever, Alina.
There's a lot of pollen up here. Sometimes a poem speaks what it's felt, and Aaron's sister Kylie is going to read a poem that they've selected.
When I go, don't learn to live without me, just learn to live with my love in a different way. And if you need to see me, close your eyes or look in your shadow when the sun shines. I'm there. Sit with me in the quiet and you will know that I did not leave. There is no leaving when a soul is blended with another. When I go, don't learn to live without me, just learn to look for me in the moments. I will be there.
Aaron would have just been so proud of his family, wouldn't he? The family have put together a photo celebration of Aaron. And as we watch, may we all take time to reflect on Aaron's life and the special person he was.
This is forever. 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 This is forever, yeah. Maybe they come, they go, but you know, I know this is forever, yeah. Maybe they come, they go, but you know, I know. I know the taste of my tears when they run down my face, yeah. Reminds me of all of the years and the dreams I've been chasing. Fueling the fire inside so the fears I can face. Cause mama never told me nothing about being complacent. So you can knock me down, but I won't stay on the ground. Can't stop believing I'm the greatest. Hearts breaking till I know I made it. I'll never know what second place is. No pain, no doubt, till the lights go out. Just a little more makes it worth it all. When I hear the call, will I rise or fall? I know all my roads lead to something gold, so I'ma walk them all. I will walk them all. You can knock me down, but I won't stay on the ground. Can't stop believing I'm the greatest. Hearts breaking till I know I made it. I'll never know what second place is. No pain, no doubt, till the lights go out. Till the lights go out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some days it feels like I don't wanna go any farther. The only way I know to keep on is keep pushing harder. Can't stop believing I'm the greatest. Hearts breaking till I know I made it. I'll never know what second place is. No pain, no doubt, till the lights go out. Can't stop believing I'm the greatest. Hearts breaking till I know I made it. I'll never know what second place is. No pain, no doubt, till the lights go out.
We made that big box back there.
Yeah!
crying, I would too.
No cuts there. Wonderful memories. Beautiful tribute to a special man. Please join with me now as we offer prayers of thanksgiving for Aaron's life. And we do thank those who shared those stories. What a special part of today they've been. We're going to also pray for family and for all those who mourn Aaron's passing. And the prayer will conclude with the Lord's Prayer. Please say it with me if you are able. Let us pray. Loving God, who made each one of us unique and different, we give thanks for the life of Aaron Kenny. For Rob and Bev, who taught and encouraged him to become the man we knew. For Rodney and Kylie and the siblings who helped raise him. We give thanks for the places where Aaron travelled and where he worked and developed his skills and talents. We thank you especially for his love and partnership with Eilina and the wonderful children they have raised. A rock and protector to his family, thank you that caring and providing for them was his priority in small ways, like labelling the garage or buying Oscar new bike gear, but in big ways, like every day wanting them to do and be their best and loving them to bits. We thank you for his support of Charlotte and Oscar, that he got to see Charlotte in the New Zealand area school's Kia Rahi team, and Oscar win their secondary school's rugby grade. For the many special events and occasions over these last 12 months and beyond, and the fantastic photo memories the family can cherish, we say thank you. We thank you for Aaron's laugh that echoed around the room and infected every family occasion, for his keenness for a yarn and his loathing of meetings. We thank you that Aaron lived up to his name and stayed strong even when he was feeling so unwell. Thank you for those who were strong around him in these last days. May his strength be something that gives others strength as we face the challenges of life. None of us are perfect, Lord. We don't get everything right. Help us to have the humility to admit it.
Today we give thanks for the life of a man who lived his days caring for his family, caring about his community, and helping others where he could. For the many ways Aaron has impacted us, we give thanks. In celebrating Aaron's life, we also remember those he leaves behind. We pray for Eileen, Charlotte, and Oscar. Thank you for the strength they've shown in the journey that has been. Surround them with what they need for the days ahead. A shoulder for support, space to gather their thoughts, a text, a post, a call, a laugh remembered, a tear shed. Their sorrow is deep because their love is real. Uphold them as they walk on together. We pray for Rob, Rodney and Mel, Kylie and Hamish, Jeff and Brenda, Rex and Sharon, Rob and Hayley, and all of their families and the wider whānau. They've shared so many memories together, close-knit families who've enjoyed each other and supported each other in life together. Support all who've known Aaron, whether as a local boy they've seen grow up or a respected friend. Guide all through the joy of remembering and the sadness of goodbyes. May all know your love and care. Almighty God, Aaron's cancer journey reminds us of the frailty of life and the need to make each day count. And we pray for all who suffer from disease and health issues, those diagnosed and those who walk beside them. May there be a time in the future when there is an end to such disease and difficulty. We confess we feel some anger and confusion of why a life can end so young. You are a God we can be honest with and question. And as we wrestle with these things, help us find hope for each new day. Where Aaron's death reminds us of other experiences of loss, help us to trust you. Indeed, we pray today for all those who face loss and suffering and death. May you strengthen and uphold all who walk this path. Our memories of Aaron may bring smiles to our faces or tears to our eyes. Whether smiles or tears, may we remember with thanks his gift of love and life and laughter. May we respond by living our lives in a way that makes the most of each day, so that we also will leave an echo in others' hearts. Thank you for the life of Aaron Kenny. As we say the prayer Jesus shared, may we hear its words of hope for today and the future. It speaks of a God we can ask for help in all of life's struggles. Please join with me if you know it. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. I invite you to stand now for our words of commendation. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They're new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." We commend Aaron to God's mercy. A writer, Christopher Holloway, writes this: "The life of one we love is never lost. Its influence goes on through all the lives it ever touched." And so we say, God alone is holy and just and good. And in that confidence, we commend Aaron, Nicholas, Robert, Gregory, Kenny, into God's loving care and compassion, and into the arms of his infinite mercy. Amen. I'd like to invite those who are to form the Guard of Honour and the students of Otago Boys High School, if you'd like to make your way out now, please, to form up. conclude this service with just a word of blessing as the Guard of Honour prepares. I'd encourage you all to join the family out and be part of the final farewell there before heading to the cemetery. And so these words, Kia tau te rangamare o te atua, kia koutou. The peace of God be with us all. Amen. May the pallbearers come forward.
Gain of
From farm.
Who's carrying?
I'm just gonna look up for beers and trade 3 boxes.
Did like a good carry. Didn't it?
Rodney told us to stop at the top and he'll drive and just out right now where easy.
Yes.
Oh, I knew that. No. Did you go, no, I'll be good. I'll be right. Oh, well done, mate. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Be the last
Well, they had a trial.
family to be saved. Casket, yeah. Casket, step on it.
Please, if hard to hear where you're standing, please just move to a place where you can. Some words of peace. Psalm 23 says this: "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul." We bring Aaron to his final resting place. May this be a place you can come to remember his life and his love, but knowing that you have been so touched by his life that you take his story and influence with you wherever you go. Would you join with me in prayer? God of love, Aaron's family and friends have gathered to remember the one they have loved and share in the sorrow of his passing. Thank you for the special man that Aaron was to so many. As they come now to lay his body to rest, may your hand uphold them in their sadness. May they know your care and comfort. May your spirit grant them peace. Amen. O Lord, support us by your grace through all the hours of life's day, until the shadows lengthen, the busy world is hushed, the fever of life is over, and the evening comes. Then, Lord, in your mercy, grant us a safe lodging, a holy rest, and peace at the last, through Christ Jesus, your Son. Amen. In the Committal. We've commended Aaron into God's care and mercy. We now commit his body to the earth. We give thanks for his time among us. That life we honour, his departure we accept, his memory we will cherish. In grief at his death, we think of his life and the privilege of sharing it with him. We now release him from our keeping. We commit his body to the earth, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. May he rest now at the end of his days. We live in Christian hope of the resurrection to eternal life through Jesus Christ, the Saviour of the world. Amen. And the final blessing to all who gather here today, as you say farewell and take time to be together. As you travel from this place, may the Lord bless and protect you. May the Lord show you mercy and kindness. May the Lord be good to you and give you peace this day and forevermore. Amen.
Slowly lowering. So we've got some rosemary here for anyone who'd like to place some on here in the basket. You're welcome to come forward.
Say love is more precious than gold. It can't be bought and it can't be sold. I got
No, you're right.
Sit down. Yeah.
I got a woman with eyes that shine, and a diamond mind.
Have your lapels in your pocket, huh?
Hold Right.
You didn't think. Leave that nice stuff for a finish.
lovely finer stuff now. Make it look nice and hot.
Tidy up around the blue colours. Yeah, tidy up around the... You wouldn't be heavy. Perfection, mate. Perfection. Yeah. Water up there, right? Yeah.
The whole road. There you go, worm. There's some sweat dropping off the nose now, not tears.
Good work, fellas.
The cow in you.
We're going to do this bit.
Oh no, another one bites the dust.
Thanks everyone.
China ones or hot one for China? They're one for me.
Oh, the China did do Timu.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry, Karen.